Hey guys, welcome to Final Tragedy Star 4 Wallkick exhibition, my new hardest star at the moment, and my new worst grind. And I'll try to describe how bad this grind was because it was extremely obnoxious. So this grind lasted for about 40 hours. I actually played quite a lot this week because I was done with my exams, but that's another topic. The thing is, this grind was just the definition of nothing, of literally the definition of void. Like that is the perfect word. It was just me getting good attempts and just killing them off of nothing. And I did like get maybe a bit of skill out of it, but everything else, like 95% of my chokes were just nothing. We're just pure void. And it's actually annoying when it happens because usually in a grind, even if you choke badly, you just get something out of it. Like, okay, maybe this time you weren't focused enough. Maybe this time you should have practiced a little more. You should have controlled your nerves a little more. But this grind, no, I was just killing attempts of nothing. I'm gonna point out my worst jokes when they come up. It was just really bad. All right. So let's just talk about the intro a little bit because I feel like Final Tragedy's intro is definitely one of the most fun part, especially with the little skip at the beginning that allows us to skip a wall kick section and just do a long jump wall kick. This part is very consistent, and one of the main flaws in Dream Edition, in my opinion, is how obnoxious the intros of the stages are, especially in a certain level that we might talk about a bit later, but not for right now. So yeah, the intro is very consistent. It's actually quite short, and you're gonna get to the core of the star mostly every attempt. Well, of course, this is QCG, so there's nothing really interesting to commentate about. But this star is a type of star that I'm not the biggest fan. It is the type of star that is super extremely fun to practice, but pure garbage to grind. And the reason is it's what I call a peak star or a spike star. I don't know what's the word, but basically you just do the intro and then you go and then you reach a point where there is a super inconsistent part, and then everything else after this is easy. But the thing is, since there is a super big spike of difficulty at one moment, it makes you nervous for the rest of the star, and that's what makes this star so difficult, in my opinion, is the mentality, you know, like not really the skill required, but the mentality required. And yeah, I feel like this type of grind is definitely a testament of how I'm controlling myself more, my nerves, my mentality more. But I don't know. We'll get to it soon because these are not very interesting jumps. We'll have the heart of the star in just a very few moments. Alright, so this is the shell section. Thankfully we don't have to do the whole shell, unlike Star 1, which was a mess. Star 1 is very difficult. It's not like as hard as it might look, but it is still extremely nerve-wracking. But yeah, like if you choke here, that is not, I mean, you're rarely gonna choke here. I think I actually choked 3 times in the grind, because yeah, the grind lasted for 40 hours, and of course in 40 hours you can choke to pretty much everything. I think I definitely should stop playing for this much, even when I have the time, because I do have the time right now, but that's another story. Alright, so first main difficulty of the stage, the pentagons. These pentagons aren't difficult per se, but they can be extremely inconsistent sometimes, especially this pentagon right here. There is a lot of variance to this pentagon. Like, it can depend on a lot of factors, especially the height and the speed. These jumps as well killed me a couple times. There's actually safer strats here. Note that you can actually QSOG. I think you can actually QSOG and skip everything, but it takes like 10 minutes of QSOG, which I'm definitely not gonna do because it's just boring. Alright, so here we got a new section, which you can call the precise jump section, the amp section, the red switch section. This is the spike I was talking about earlier. This section is very difficult. And I mean, it's definitely not the hardest thing in the world, but it is something that is gonna really play on your mentality and how on your nerves, mostly. It is actually not too difficult, but yeah, it plays a lot. Note that I have a counter when I pass the red switch. I actually add one to the counter when I reach this platform here, and I actually died here, and I actually died before, maybe 1 or 2 times. Alright, so this jump, very intimidating jump. You have to do a punch cancel long jump before because the floor is made of ice. I really recommend to pause buffer the punch cancel, or else it just becomes really difficult, and the amp is really pressing. If the amp weren't here, this section wouldn't be much of a threat, especially this jump, but and also this wall kick back to the platform. I actually died here quite a bit. Not saying it's difficult, just try to get a first tee, a bit of height, and try to play around the neutral direction on your analog to get as much height and not too much speed. Right when you're done with this section, of course, you have the infamous cone. That is, I mean, this cone is not difficult, come on, bro. It's difficult to learn, it's not difficult to do, but I still killed some attempts here. That really sucks because this jump is not even hard, but you just start to get nervous right after the amp section. I mean, here I wasn't really nervous because you know, I was pretty chilling on this session, but sometimes I was just extremely nervous even at this point. Alright, so we have one more jump before we're gonna be able to chill a bit, and it's time to point out a pretty bad choke I had on this little snuffit. I actually long jumped straight into it on an attempt, and that actually killed me, which was pretty frustrating. Yeah, this cone jump actually killed a bit of attempts, a couple of them. It's not too difficult, but yeah, it can kill you. Alright, so, oh yeah, I had one more choke around here that is very stupid. It actually happened yesterday at the time I'm recording this, on the next Wallkick section, but we're gonna have a bit of time because the star is actually quite dense, and sorry if it was a bit too fast because the star is very dense. It's pretty short. It has no reclimb. It's most of the star is actually new compared to the 3 first stars. There are a lot of new jumps, big extension. So yeah, the star is very dense. So now currently I am at 164 and I have this star. So my plans for the couple like the next couple months, I'm gonna do TWDE 4 out of 7 first. I think I'm gonna go for Eternal Melancholy. I'm gonna go for Beginning of the End, Cubic Territories, and the Legacy of Sorrow. I think I'm gonna do them in this order, and maybe I don't think I'll do it, but maybe I'll add Unseen Future to the list. The reason I want to do this is because I'm planning on going back to E-Reds because I didn't forget the stage, of course. The reason I'm doing this right now, I'm doing all of this, is because I feel like I was just stuck in E-Reds. Like, I was just playing for a couple months, for a couple weeks, stopping for a couple months, going back to E-Reds, and I was just doing that over and over again. But the problem is that I wasn't really getting any better in the stage. I know I can get the star, I know I got good attempts, but I was just like, okay, maybe it will happen in 10 hours, 50 hours, or just 200 hours. Like, this feeling was just way too prominent, so that's why I decided to go on Final Tragedy NT Dawn first. To get, like, you know, a little more progression margin, if it makes sense. This little section here, I think it killed 2 attempts, but not even because of the slope, just because the Wallkick before, because the camera is a little odd. Okay, I actually died here once on this little slope because I pressed the button before quitting the slope. Yeah, very dumb way to die. I actually died once here as well, on this little heave-ho. I didn't die on the heave-ho, but I fell off in the quicksand. This section, I call it the cage. It's sort of reminiscent to EE, because there is also a part which is called the cage. I died a lot on the cage, and I mean, it is a pretty easy section. It's one of the easiest sections. But for some reason, I kept dying to this little Snuffit, which is not even hard to kill. I actually made a little mistake here. I jumped too late, I think. But yeah, killing this Snuffit is quite difficult, but it shouldn't kill you, and it killed me 5 times at least. I really hate this Snuffit, bro. Some enemies in Dream Edition makes some sections stupidly harder than they already are. Alright, so we're gonna come up to the next big section, the next big choke point, if it makes sense, just right after this. Here you're gonna see a little entrance. There is a block, so that's why we activate the red switch, because there's a block blocking this little hole. Excuse me. Alright, so this is gonna be the next hard section, the slippery slopes. I'm not talking about this precise slope here. I mean precise slope, it's not precise, but the Troll Star slope. Alright, so this slope right here, this little section right here, I'm gonna do it the safe way by just going around and not just jumping straight to the other side. The main deal with this section is the fact that these slopes are extremely slippery. And the thing is, you need to jump on an early frame to gain height. But if you jump too early, of course, you're gonna jump within the 5-frame window. So no jump is actually gonna happen. It did kill quite a few attempts, I think around 3 to 5. I don't exactly know. Same thing here. I have a visual cue with the little white bits on the platform, just to activate the fire speeder and make sure the fire actually blows up, if it makes sense. Okay, oh yeah, we're gonna have this section too, which killed 1 attempt. This little triangular platform. You're not supposed to die here. If you were focused enough, if you know what you're doing, you're not gonna die here. I just died here because I don't know, I don't even know why. Like, I was just choking over and over again, but I just don't know why. That's really annoying. Alright, this section here, I actually do like this section, even though I died once. It's the precise Wallkick section, let's just call it that way. This section is actually quite cool looking. It's not difficult. Just know what you're doing, but it's definitely not difficult. Even though I still died once, but I mean, yeah, it's just a type of Wallkick section where if you know your depth, if you know your inputs, you're never really gonna die here. The next section though, the next jump, sorry, is a little more interesting. Alright, so the next jump we're gonna have is not this one, this slope. Make sure when you're landing on this slope to press forward, just to make sure you don't jump backwards on the slope. Alright, so here there's like not really a setup, but kind of a muscle memory based like structure, if it makes sense. It killed me twice. This jump actually killed me twice. It's not really that difficult in my opinion, but yeah, it has a lot of precision to it, so if you do even the slightest mistake, it could cause you problem, I guess. But you know what, guys, enough talking about jumps that are quite easy, because we're gonna have the most bullshit jump. No, it's not the most bullshit one, but we're gonna have the worst section of this star, and not of the stage, of course, because the worst section of the stage is probably triple invis. Which, by the way, I'm not gonna do star 5 right now because I'm just too lazy to learn triple invis, but I should do it one day, but just not right now. Just not at this time, because I have other things to try. But as I was saying, this section, this next Wallkick section after the skill strategies, is by far the worst thing in the star, and of course it's at the end. This section that you're gonna see killed me, I don't know, countless amount of times. What am I doing? Why am I waiting? Why am I waiting? Okay, probably my hands were wet, so I was just drying them out. Alright, so this Wallkick section. This first section is actually not that bad. It actually killed me 3 times, but just because I was missing my, I mean, not getting the right frame Wallkick, if it makes sense. Like this particular jump here killed me quite a bit, but this section, dude, this jump, this one, this jump right here, that's the worst thing, dude. That's the worst thing. This jump killed me. I don't know. It killed me so many times. It just killed me so many times, bro. It is incredibly precise. This jump is incredibly precise. I don't really have a setup for it. I know some people have, but I kind of go based on my muscle memory. It is just really difficult. Okay, so here I'm gonna actually skip directly to, because I'm gonna try to put this truck here in a good position for like 3 minutes. So yeah, I'll commentate what happens next. Alright, so now what do we have here? We have the ending of the star, of course. First thing first, this Wallkick here, this long jump here is quite precise. You don't need a first T. I just pause buffer to make sure I get the most velocity out of my you know, analog stick pressing, if it makes sense. We are gonna have here the worst choke, the most stupid choke I've ever had. Let's just kill this trucker first. So the worst stroke I've ever had is right here. Please kill the truck out. Thank you. Alright, so here you're gonna You just have to do a long jump and just go into the wall kick section. Easy. Easy, yeah? But no. I actually died here once. I mean, I didn't really die from this jump. I died because I landed on the red coin platform below, and I had to reclimb, and I just messed the precise wall kick section on the reclimb. And here, pretty easy last section. Make sure to press L in the wall kick section to not mess your camera. And we're gonna have the last wall kick section. It's pretty intimidating. It's actually quite difficult. I mean, yeah, this one is quite difficult, but it didn't kill me, so thankfully, yeah. I'll let you hear the reaction. Oh, oh, ah, ah, putain.